can see a huge drop right here. And the reason that happened was because the real earnings report came out at 8:30, and I guess it wasn't good. So you can see it dropped and then jumped up and then dropped and then came up, but not quite as far. And each time we're kind of losing a little bit of momentum. However, I do think there's probably a little bit more to be had. The MACD is looking very good. So I started today by doing a short order, which kind of went the wrong way for a while. I was a little worried that it might start to go up even further, so I went ahead and put in a stop at a few ticks above the gold SMA here. There is quite a bit of momentum yet to be had on the longer term charts. However, it didn't stop me out, and then it dropped pretty good here, and I put in a limit order and got out. And the first trade I made $300. Second trade, I decided there's probably a little bit more downward momentum yet to be had, so I got in another short, wrote it down and got out and made $250 on my next trade. And you can see that I had it bracketed here, and the way I got out of this trade, I was thinking that it might drop down to here, but I followed it along with a stop as it dropped. And then I got stopped out, but it's still a profit. Okay, my third trade, actually I decided that it was losing downward momentum and it probably would be going up. So I got into a long. So far it's looking good here. MACD looks like it's turning up. We're kind of at some supports down here. This is the channel that I drew, very long-term channel, but still we're near the bottom of it. So I'm not terribly surprised that it's losing downward momentum. I wrote it up and got out of my third trade at another profit of $275. It is not even 9 o'clock yet. And I thought about stopping at this point, and I should have in hindsight, but sometimes when it doesn't take me that long to trade, I just decide that I could do better. So I kept going. The next trade, I did a long, and I have a limit and a stop order already placed. It's bracketed. And I started doing this from here on out just to be on the safe side. I'm not expecting a great deal of movement here. I'm thinking I'll get out at the gold SMA, which is a pretty good resistance level. Very possible that it will go up above that. However, it dropped back down, and I had a fairly tight stop, but it got stopped out, and I lost $250 on that trade. All right, my fifth trade, I did a short because I was thinking that I was wrong about it going up now, and perhaps it wasn't quite ready to do that yet. It seemed to be dropping still. So I did a short. And I went back to the 30-minute chart here and kind of adjusted where that red line was. That's kind of where I'm expecting it to drop to. Okay, my stop order is just above that gold SMA. It wasn't really going where I wanted it to go, so I went ahead and just got out of this trade right there. I made 125 with that one, so at least I did make a profit with that, even though it wasn't very much. Okay, and my trade number 6. Decided to try that again. It didn't really want to drop below this point here, so I thought that would be a good time to get in. So I have a limit order there, which just got filled. And again, I'm trying for the same thing. My stop order is just like a tick or two below the lowest that it's been. And I'm expecting it to go up to that gold SMA and get out there. However, it did drop down again, and I got stopped out. Again, very tight stop, only lost 150 on that one. Trade number 7 is a long. I'm going to try it one more time. It doesn't seem to want to drop too far here. And I got stopped out again. So I think I'm just jumping the gun here. I just getting in too quickly. So trade number 7, I lost 175. Okay, and here I decided it dropped below that red line, and it's looking like there's a lot of red showing here. So I'm going to try another short this time. Okay, so I placed a couple of alerts here by going out to the 4-hour chart, and it did drop below that white channel that I had drawn there. and my stop order is way up here at a rate above the gold SMA, and I'm thinking maybe it'll drop down around that level, but maybe not. Okay, I got stopped out at 1 tick to the good. I had lowered my stop just 1 tick below. I'll go back to that again. I put it right here at 70.75. That way I wouldn't lose anything on that trade if I did decide to go up, because I really didn't want to lose that much. And I got stopped out. So kind of waited for it to show what it was going to do at this point, and it looked like it was going to hit that and maybe not go above it. So I did a short at that point, and I canceled my stop order up here. It did go through that, which was a little bit concerning. And here's the opening bell. And you can see that it's kind of floating back down again. So I was hopeful. I went flat there, and I decided to raise my limit order up to the 2 bottoms that it had formed here. However, it continued to rise and go up. And not sure what it's doing. I think it's trying to do recovery, but it's not super excited about it. So I did get out of that trade at a loss of 325. That was pretty painful, because basically I just lost all the profits that I had made this morning. And I got into another long position here, because it looked like the SMAs here were crossing and starting to go up. The MACD is looking good, so I did a long. And it dropped down, hit that red line again, went below it, and then it's maybe starting to come back up. It's going pretty flat. And then I recovered back up to where I had gotten in, basically. And then it went up a little bit further, and I bracketed this. I hoped it would go up to there, but if it dropped it all, then I would lock in that profit. So, of course, I got stopped out and made, actually I didn't write it down, but I made about 400, I think, on that trade. And it kind of bounced down, not quite as far as I thought it would go there. And I decided to get into another long at this point. So I'm in my 11th trade in a long position. I have my order set up here, my limit order, which is the peak, the last peak that it formed right here. It went back down and hit that gold SMA and then immediately bounced up. So that was very encouraging. And I didn't wait for it to get all the way up there. It was close enough. I didn't want to wait for the last 4 little ticks there. So I just got out right there at that point, and I made 400 on that trade. So that put me at a profit of 850 minus commissions, because I had so many trades. So I only made 698. But you know what? That's a lot. So, and it was 2 hours of trading time, 11 trades, a few more than I normally do, but not bad.